I've always been a patriot. I was accused in the Lipstadt trial, of course, of being a racist. That's the other word for patriot. When Richard Rampton, the Queen's counsel for Deborah Lipstadt, said, "You are a racist, aren't you?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean by racist?" And he said, "How would you define it?" I said, Mr. Rampton, I would define what you call racism as patriotism." He said, "How would you define patriotism?" I said, "Patriotism is respect for the country that's been handed down to you by your parents and by their parents." And what country is that, Mr. Irving? Well, I can't deny, of course, that I'd gone through this kind of dialogue in my mind for months before the trial began. So the answer that came wasn't unprepared. I said, "Mr. Rampton, sometimes I have the dream that I can go to Heathrow Airport and board a 747 and fly for 10 hours and land back in England as it was in the 1950s. The press loved that. And he wasn't satisfied, of course, because he doesn't like that kind of answer, Mr. Rampton. He was a good QC. And he adjusted his wig and he said, "Mr. Irving, what kind of England would that have been then?" I know what he's going for. And I said, "Mr. Rampton, let me put it like this. If the soldiers who stormed the beaches in Normandy in June 1944 could see England as it is today, they wouldn't have gone 40 yards up that beach." A wonderful sentence, again well prepared. It came out absolutely word perfect. Every newspaper quoted it the following day because newspapers are cowardly. There are things that they want to say, things that they dare not say themselves, but things they will willingly quote if somebody else says it. And if necessary, they can put exclamations at front and center, and they can say how disgusting it is that somebody has dared to say this, but they've said it all the same. And it became the quote of the week in most of the Sunday papers, and in 2 of the Sunday papers it was the actual quote of the month. So they all believed in what I had said, but none of them had dared say it themselves. That's the quality of English journalism today. The problem isn't censorship. There is no censorship of newspapers. The problem has always been self-censorship. A journalist knows what he's got to write in order to keep his job. I've offered £1,000 reward to anybody who can find one wartime document showing that Adolf Hitler even knew about Auschwitz, let alone gave orders for the killing of the Jews. The only documents we gradually find run the other way.